Hey, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I have an awesome video for you. A video I've been waiting to make for a very long time now, and it is, can you cook brisket in an air fryer just like you would a ribeye? And there's a couple little things I'm gonna do, so it's gonna be an experiment. Check it out. Okay, here we go. So the other day, I bought a brisket, a big old 17-pound full packer brisket, and I decided that I wanted to cook it like an actual steak. And what I mean by that, I didn't want to slow cook it. I don't want to throw it in a smoker because it's cold out here in Jersey, and slow cooking it is okay, but I prefer an actual steak that's medium rare versus, you know, something slow cooked. So I'm gonna take the flat part of the brisket, which I already cut up. I cut it up yesterday because I slow cooked the point of the brisket. But I'm gonna take my piece. So I got piece here. Let's see, which piece do we want to use? All right, so here you go. So this is my piece. This is what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna cut it in half, and I am going to try to tenderize it. And if you haven't seen my other tenderizing video, you can click the little button thing up there. But anyway, I'm going to put sour cream on this, and I'm gonna see if the sour cream will break down everything and the fibers in here and kind of soften it so it'll cook very well and be tender when you cut it and cook it and eat it. Because, you know, a brisket, it has to be slow cooked. It's a very tough muscle. If you don't slow cook it, it's tough. It's tough to eat. It's not enjoyable. But I'm gonna see if the sour cream will work. And if it doesn't, then my dogs get a good treat. So without further ado, let's get to it. Here we go. So we have a big old piece of brisket. Unfortunately, my cutting boards are drying right now, so we are stuck with these plates. But anyway, this is the piece that we're gonna be working with. So decent amount of fat on the outside, not too much on the inside, the intramuscular, because it's select maybe. I forget exactly what the cut is. But here we go. Here are two pieces, and what I'm gonna do is to compare is I'm going to do one for 1 hour and one for 2 hours and see if the 1 hour will suffice, or if not 2 hours will be good, or if 2 hours is too much, and so on and so forth. So here we go. And all you do, I have this just normal sour cream here. Yogurt works as well. Cottage cheese might even work. I believe it's the lactose in the dairy that does it. So use whatever dairy that you want to use, but you know, being nice and generous with your sour cream. We'll see how it works. Not too worried about the fat part, however, I'll do that. But yeah, and the reason why I'm using the flat and not the point is because the point of the brisket has much more fat, and it's much more, you know, it's got a lot more stuff going on. So it's more connective tissue. It's got probably some more silver skin, which is some chewy stuff, which I didn't bother cutting off or trimming this brisket. So I'm using the piece of the meat that has more of the actual muscle. So that way this can hopefully get down and break down those muscle fibers and smooth it up a little bit. Make sure you get every side, so we're gonna flip it on over. Oh, the sour cream making a damn mess. Per usual, that should be part of these videos, is making a mess. How big of a mess can Ryan make? The answer is all of it. I can make all of the mess. All right, there we go. We're covered in sour cream, hands and meat, and now we just wait. 1 hour, 2 hours, and we will check back in. Stay tuned.
1 hour later.
we just hit an hour on our first piece of brisket. This one is our smaller one, the smaller piece. So this is what I'm using for our hour. So now once it's done, all you have to do is rinse it off and then pat it dry. So we're going to rinse it all off. You know, use cold to, you know, lukewarm to room temperature water. You don't want it to be too warm or anything, or too cold. Just trying to get all that sour cream off. And the sour cream, if you haven't watched the other video, once again, it doesn't really leave any aftertaste. There's no, I can't really tell that there was actually sour cream on it, unless A, I leave it on, or B, obviously if it's more tender, obviously I know it worked. And that's that. So what you notice is, actually I like to kind of try to squeeze it out and get off all the water before I put it on. But what you notice is it turns a little bit whiter. It's a little bit more pale of a color. If you cut into it, it would be a little bit more red, but the outside, the color of the sour cream, because it's white, it just kind of makes it a little bit more pale, but that means nothing. So what we're gonna do, just rinse off our plate that we just had and dry it off. The worst part about this is that it's somewhat of a process between how you want to, you know, move things around and wash it and dry it and do everything. But you know what? If it tenderizes something and it doesn't take that long to do, and it doesn't take hours upon hours to smoke, that's, in my book, that's a win. So as I said, we want to pat this bad boy dry, and there is our piece. There's our piece of brisket that's gonna go in. And before I put it in, I'm gonna do a little extra. So what I've been doing recently, after I'm done tenderizing, is I'm using my little butane torch that I have here. It's, you know, a cheap little thing you got off of Amazon. And I'm starting to go around the entire piece of meat to kind of pre-cook some of the fat, but also try to dry the outside just a little bit more. So let's turn this guy on. Nothing crazy. I'm not like really seriously searing it or anything. I'm just a little bit, getting a little, you know, just a little bit of a sear. You can see I already got a lot on there. So I'm just gonna turn. Yeah, it's already warm there. Don't want to do too much. Just trying to dry the outside. Remember, this is all experiment. There's no real rhyme or reason for me doing it besides trying to dry it a little bit more. Don't know if it makes a difference. What I notice in the air fryer, at least, is when I do this with the chuck roast that I use, the fat comes out a little bit more crispy rather than if it was just put in normally without me doing that. So it's been something I've been doing. But yeah, so that's it. So there you go. It doesn't look, you know, too great now because it's kind of, you know, seared on the outside, but we're gonna throw it in the air fryer. We're gonna do the same exact thing we always do for our steaks. So it's gonna be 400 degrees for 6 minutes. Just gotta let it preheat, and then we'll throw it in and give it a shot. Check it out. All right, let's check. There you go. That is what it's looking like. You know, and let's see. That's crispy enough. That's good. All right. Here is our piece of steak. There it is, our brisket. Now it's just time to try it. So let's try. Okay. Number one is done. Here it is. And something I didn't show you is I did salt everything, so I did season it, salted all the sides. And I'm gonna be honest, by the way that it felt when I picked it up out of the air fryer, it felt a little firm. So I'm not super confident with the test, honestly. So I'm gonna cut the inside, and it's still pretty, it is a thick steak, you know, so it is pretty darn rare on the inside. I'm gonna try a bite, but I'm gonna throw it back in anyway, just to see. Yeah, just by cutting it, you know, I can feel already it's not gonna be the most tender. So let's see though. Here's the first piece, nice little piece of fat. So definitely a little chewy. As you saw, it took me a little while to get that down. However, I think a lot of it might be this fat, because it feels like there's a decent amount of of fibers or something in the fat, some membranes, maybe some silver skin in it too, that makes it a little chewy. So I might not even throw this back in. Let's see. I'm gonna try just a piece without the fat. There you go. It's, as I said, it's pretty rare. If you didn't want it this rare, you could throw it back in. I'm gonna throw it back in. I'm all over the place. Okay. So all right, that's test number 1. 1 hour in does not do enough for this brisket, especially with the size and the thickness of this piece specifically. Now it's time to wait for our second brisket, our 2-hour sour cream brisket. Stick around. Steak number 2, brisket number 2, our 2-hour one. This one I'm going to change the way I cook a little bit. We have cooked for 8 minutes. Let's see what this is looking like. It's about the same here. All right, looks pretty good. I'm sure it's still pretty rare on the inside as well, but you know, I'm impatient, so I'm gonna eat. So let's eat. All right. We're here. Our second one is done. 2 hours with sour cream sitting on it. It did feel a little softer. However, when the middle of it still felt a little tough. And what I realized on the other one is, if you go back and look, when I took the torch and I went to the top of the fat, it kind of shriveled up, and there's a big membrane on the fat, which is why a lot of times people trim this. I didn't trim any of this brisket, which is why the fat was so kind of chewy. So if you do it, maybe you'll get a trimmed one, maybe you'll trim it yourself. I'm too lazy to do it. I'm fine with all that fat. So all right, here we go. Once again, nice and real rare in the inside. Still mooing, you might be able to hear it, but that's how the other one was, so perfect match. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try the meat, because that's what we care about. Not everyone will have that fat. There it is, there's a little end piece. Cheers. That's still chewy. Yeah. Hold on, it's gonna take me a little while to chew. Okay, I mean, I only have to take one bite of this to know that it didn't work. It did not work the same way it works on chuck roasts and chuck eyes and all that stuff, or top sirloin, whatever you're eating. It's still very, very tough. Maybe if I cooked it a little bit longer, it'd be a little less tough. But you know, it is really, really tough. At the end of the day, what this experiment showed us is that it does not work on brisket. Maybe some other tenderizers will work. I mean, I didn't hit it with the tenderizer hammer thing, but I didn't think that was gonna matter anyway. So don't do it. If you're gonna cook brisket, just cook it slow. Low and slow, as they say. So that's it. That's the video. I guess I gotta still eat this. I'm not gonna waste the food. Maybe I'll give it to these dogs that are sitting right here just waiting for me to drop a piece. But I don't know if this will be in the same spot, but anyway, that's it. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Subscribe if you like it and you want more videos. Watch some of my other videos. And if you have any ideas for more cooking videos with the air fryer, leave it in the comments below. I'll give it a look and see if we can do it. So that's it. I'm gonna figure out what the hell to do with this. That's it. So until next time, see you guys later.